Hi, I'm Eric from Simply Elegant Home Cooking. Today we have a special edition episode of my channel. I'm visiting my good friend Paulie from Paulie's Food Channel. He is a fellow YouTuber, and he and I are going to collaborate to make this delicious dish. We made an absolutely delicious homemade pasta with homemade fresh fettuccine noodles and combined it with some seared seafood, some shrimp, and scallops in a garlic white wine butter sauce. This is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to show you this recipe, collaborating with a good friend. We have the link to his channel below. I hope you check that out as well. But stick around, and Paulie and I are going to show you how to put together this delicious seafood and pasta dish. You're going to love it.
Okay, Chef Paulie here, and we're going to get started with our fresh homemade pasta. We've got 3 basic ingredients we're using for this: unbleached flour, 4 egg yolks, and some water. Okay, you want to pour out our flour and make a well in the center, and then we want to go in with our egg yolks, like so, and most of our water. After pouring in our mixture, we're going to feed it in with a fork like so and get the process started. Okay, at this point here, at this consistency is where I start going in with my hands and start kneading in the additional flour and get rid of the fork. Like so. And we'll keep doing this until we get to the consistency we want for our dough. Okay, after a couple minutes of kneading, this is what we've got, our dough here. And it looks a little dry, so I'm going to have to go in with probably just a touch more water and finish up kneading and getting our dough together. Okay, so this is where we want our dough to be as far as consistency. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a slice here in half. Make 2 balls. And then we'll wrap it up and cover it in cellophane and let it sit for about 20 minutes. Okay, so after you wrap your dough balls, this is what they look like. Alright, at this point we've taken our plastic wrap off and we're ready to roll our pasta. You can either use a machine or we can do with a traditional rolling pin and cut it rustically with a knife. Alright, so I started flattening our dough with my rolling pin so we can feed it through the machine. And we're going to run it through at the thickest setting, like so. So I've ran my pasta through our machine several times and I've scaled the thickness back each time. Now I'm going to run it through one final time and I'll be ready to cut our pasta into fettuccine noodles. Now I've got the pasta at our desired thickness. I'm going to run it through our machine and cut it into our fettuccine noodles. Like so.
Okay, so this looks absolutely perfect. Paul has prepared the fresh pasta. We have fettuccine noodles. These look really, really good. This is going to go perfectly. So these are prepared. At this point, we can begin prepping the sauce. Okay, so with our pasta and noodles prepped and cut, the hard part is out of the way. Now all we need to do is to bring some hot water up to a boil to cook that pasta and to create our sauce. I have a large pot filled with water. This is coming up to temperature. Okay, and we have an absolutely delicious mix of seafood that is going to go into this pasta sauce. I have about 3/4 of a pound of wild shrimp and 3/4 of a pound of dry sea scallops. Make sure if you use scallops, you buy the dry variety. They're going to get a nice sear. So I'm going to add on some coarse kosher salt. I'm going to add that on first. Next, I am going to add some fresh cracked black pepper. Just get a liberal amount of that over the top like so. And what you want to do once you add your salt and your pepper, you just want to use your hands and just kind of mix that up. Get that seasoning evenly incorporated, like so. And we took this out of the fridge and dried all of the seafood off nice and thoroughly with some paper towel, which is going to really help it sear up and get nice and crispy. So I'm just going to mix that up. Okay, so I have a saute pan that I have preheated on medium-high heat. What I want to do now, I want to go in with just a small amount of olive oil. Just want to get that in the pan, give it a big swirl to evenly coat the bottom of the pan. And now we're going to sear our seafood. Now I'm going to do this in batches. I'm going to do half and half. We don't want to overload the pan because we want to get a nice crispy sear on the exterior of these scallops and shrimp. Okay, so there is 2 tricks to making really good scallops. The first step, make sure you buy really high quality scallops at the grocery store. You want what's called dry scallops, which means they have not been treated with any type of preservatives. When they're treated with preservatives, they're not going to get a good sear. And the other tip is to make sure you don't overcook them. They only need 2 to 3 minutes per side to get a nice crispy sear. So at this point, we will check them, and that looks perfect. That is exactly how you want your scallops to look. They should peel right off the bottom of the pan. These look delicious. So we're going to flip these and let them go just a few minutes on that second side. Okay, so just about another 2 minutes and these scallops look perfect on the other side. I'm going to take these out of the pan. We have a nice sear on both sides. And now we can go in with the shrimp. And these cook even quicker than the scallops do. These just take about a minute to maybe a minute and a half per side. So I'm just going to get them in there and let them cook through. And when you are searing shrimp, it really does not take long at all. You will be surprised how quickly you can flip these. And you can see that has a perfect crispy exterior. Once I go to flip these, we just want to cook these until they're not see-through in the middle. And we want to be sure not to overcook them. If you let these go more than a couple minutes, they turn rubbery. So we're flipping these, and these look absolutely perfect. Okay, and it does not take long at all on that second side of the shrimp. You want to err on the side of undercooking. So at this point, I just turned off the burner for a moment, and I'm going to remove the shrimp. You can see we have some beautiful fawn. We have some beautiful brown bits on the bottom of the pan. That is not burnt. There is some amazing flavor there that's going to go into our pasta sauce when we go to deglaze in a moment. Okay, and now at this point, the heat is off. I'm going to add a little bit of cold oil. That's going to help cool the pan down. And once you get your cold oil into the pan, I'm going to go in with a little bit of sliced garlic. I'm going to get that into the pan. And once you get your sliced garlic in, you just want to move it around a little bit, scrape a little bit at those brown bits in the bottom of the pan like so. And we want to be sure not to burn the garlic. This only takes about 30 to 60 seconds to get a little bit of the color on the garlic. And once this is ready, we will be ready to deglaze this pan. So we'll check back in just a few moments once this garlic starts to develop the slightest bit of color around the edges. Okay, and we did not let that go long. After just about 30 seconds to a minute, we're ready to deglaze. I'm going to go in with some Italian dry white wine. I'm using a Sauvignon Blanc. Pinot Grigio works well too. You want to just get that in there, and with your spatula, just continue to scrape. Any of those brown bits should come up. There is just an amazing amount of flavor in there. We want to get as much of that as possible into our sauce. So we're going to let that come back up to temperature. Okay, and at this point, as we bring this back up to a boil, we can season. I'm going to go in with some fresh cracked black pepper, a pinch of salt, and this is optional, but I really like some heat in this dish. I'm going to go with some crushed red pepper flakes. So we get that in there and just give it a big stir. And at this point, this is simmering rapidly. I can turn back the heat. We have this on medium-high. I'm going to turn it back down to about medium-low now. And we are just about ready to get the pasta in the pasta water. This is going to come together in a matter of moments at this point. Okay, so now that we've turned the heat down on our sauce, I'm going to go in with a couple tablespoons of butter, and we want to just move this around. And as this emulsifies into the sauce, this is the perfect time to add the pasta to the pasta water. Okay, so our water's ready. We just want to salt it liberally. And now Paulie is going to add in that fresh pasta. And this does not take long when you make fresh pasta. This only takes about a minute or two before this is going to be ready to add to our sauce. And with our white wine, butter, and oil sauce, at the very last moment or so of the cooking process, I'm going to squeeze in the juice of about half a lemon just to get that in there to add some nice freshness to the dish. And in just about a minute, we will be able to combine the sauce with the pasta just to put this together. And we're almost ready to serve this up. It is going to be good. Okay, so I have drained the pasta out. You want to drain the pasta, but you don't want to rinse it. I've taste tested the sauce. Everything is perfect. At this point, just at the last moment, we are ready to combine those fettuccine noodles with the sauce. You just want to get it in there and give everything a big stir. This is back over medium-high heat just to help blend that sauce with the pasta. And then just the last thing we want to do, we want to add back in our fresh pasta, or our fresh seafood that we seared, along with all of those accumulated juices. There's a lot of flavor there and we don't want to lose them, so we want to get that in there and stir it again. And now just the very final step, we've got everything combined, and I'm just going to add some fresh chopped Italian parsley just to give this dish some amazing freshness. I'm going to get that in there and give everything a final stir. At this point we can turn off the heat, and this is going to be ready to serve up. We have fresh homemade pasta, fettuccine noodles with seared shrimp and scallops in a lemon, garlic, butter, olive oil sauce with parsley. This is going to be amazing. Okay, so here is the finished dish plated up. We have seared shrimp and seared scallops with a fresh pasta, fresh fettuccine noodles that were homemade, and we've combined that with a garlic, white wine, butter, and olive oil sauce. So I am going to dig in and give this a try. I just want to cut one of these scallops in half so I can get a little bit of everything on one bite. I'm going to just cut that and go in and get a little bit of those noodles. Wow, so this is so delicious. The addition, the use of those fresh pasta noodles, I know that might seem like a lot of work. You will be blown away at the difference it makes to make your own homemade pasta. You saw this only took 3 ingredients. Paulie showed you how simple it was to put together that fresh pasta. And this sauce was really simple. This came together. We had to sear the seafood, but it came together in just about 5 or 10 minutes. This dish was absolutely delicious. Please be sure to check out Paulie's channel. I have the link in the description box below. His channel, if you like mine, he has a very similar theme with his channel, making really high quality recipes that you can put together in your own home kitchen. Doesn't have to be complicated, but you can achieve restaurant results. He's taught me a lot, and he can teach you a lot too. I'm Eric from Simply Elegant Home Cooking. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.